All right, welcome back. Welcome back. We're just kicking off hour two here on a terrific Tuesday. Markets are in an upswing today, nice in the green. I would say don't get caught up. Don't believe the hype, they might say, because the market's way overbought here. Too much government money pumped in there. It's got to get sucked out before we can have an actual real recovery. Too much artificial in there. I think 18, 19,000 is where there's some good support in the market. So stay alert. And everything going on. Workplaces are closed, but large box retailers are open. Mom and pop are dying, literally. And mom and pop businesses are on life support right now. And do people go back to work? Some people don't ever want to go back to work. Twitter has said that their employees never have to come back to work. And there's going to be a lot to be meted out in the employee rights and employee safety, and nobody better than our buddy right here, Jonathan Bell, joins us right now to break it all down, along with Frank Morano. JB, how are you?
I'm doing all right, John. How you guys doing, you and Frank? It's good to be back on.
Well, thank God we're here. Thank God you're there. I actually been following your progression from, doing some liquid lunches and then doing some other media, and then you're in your backyard with the baseball hat being yourself, and now all of a sudden you got the whole backdrop going, you got everything set up. You're a beast. I love it.
Well, I'm trying to keep up with you, John. It's not easy. You have to keep me on my toes.
Well, listen, I don't want you to be on my tail. I can tell you that. Join me. Don't chase me. JB, listen. So much crap going on. I'm talking to all kinds of different businesses. Some people are like, yeah, I'd rather get some cheaper space and put the people that are willing to come in there. Other people are like, I really don't need anybody coming in. Maybe once a week for large conference room or something. Give us the other side of the coin. Right here in Staten Island, New York, I don't know if you heard, but we got one business owner and some of them, a bunch more behind them, who want to just open their doors. They feel they can be safe. They're just as smart as Home Depot. Their employees are signing waivers to say they understand and they want to come back and they're going to be safe. They have a max capacity in their store of 10 people, max. So if they never break the law, it's a members club, it's a suntanning salon, okay? All the beds are in 8 separate rooms. So it feels like somewhere the dike has to break. What happens to that employee? Are they signing away their rights, or what should the employees know and the other guests who come in?
Yeah, so realistically, John, we have to get back to work. So I do believe in these creative solutions as the workforce starts heading back. We can't stay home forever, and fortunately, it sounds like this employer was good in contacting their employees and having them come back, when a lot of employees don't want to come back because they're collecting so much money on unemployment. And that's a huge issue that I'm getting with all my employer clients, that they're trying to hire people back and the employees are refusing to coming back. So in this situation where they're actually open and doing work, as long as you're keeping to the social distancing standards, as long as you're being very clear with the disinfecting and the cleaning, you have a protocol in place. I'm all for it. There should be masks being required for the customers and the employees. Now, if an employee refuses to go back to work, they might have a problem unless they could somehow request some type of reasonable accommodation under the Americans with Disability Act. But in that situation, the employee has to establish that they do have a disability and they can perform the essential functions of the job with an accommodation. But staying home when you work for a place that requires you to come in and having some customer interaction would be impossible. Like for me, when I run a law firm, if one of my lawyers wants to stay home for a period of time and they could be effective at home, I'm okay with that. I'm fine.
JB, just on that point, I want to tell you, I talked about this in my open, but people that want to, flout the law a little bit and stand up for their freedom and unconstitutional actions here, they're kind of sketchy or like afraid, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be the one. And in a time when I think there's no sympathy for lawyers, I said earlier that I think they'll be the last ones allowed back to work, in my view, because nobody's advocating for you guys, or nobody's listening to whoever's advocating for the poor, rich lawyers of the world. But I have a few attorneys here in Staten Island, Lou Gellarmino, Mark Fonte, Mario Gallucci, criminal defense attorneys who step forward, and even their practices are getting smacked right now. But they're saying they're going to represent any business owner in Staten Island and maybe across the city. They're real patriots. There's no win in it for them. They're going to take on work. They're going to represent everyone in summonses or arrests to finality. So there's actually some lawyers out there making a good name for lawyers in a rare instance. Like you,
Yeah, JT,
like you're one of us. You're a
you,
regular guy. You always help people. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And
you don't give us enough credit, JT. I think in your next life, you're going to come back as a lawyer and be a great litigator. I could tell that you are. But
nah,
you know,
listen, I bust chops. Let me tell you something. I'll give you a confession. I am a frustrated wannabe lawyer. Okay. And I'm more of a humorist than a lawyer, so I always seize upon good, provable lawyer jokes because most of America laughs at those. You know what I mean? Unfortunately.
well, I'll tell you what the real unfortunate part is. A lot of bad lawyers have a bad reputation for a reason. They really don't go into it for the right reason. They go into it just to make a quick dollar here and there, and sometimes take cases that they shouldn't take just because the client has some money to give to them, which is totally wrong. Which is not what we do in our firm. We're very, very
No,
selective.
you're the
We
best.
really
That's
we
that's
we, we,
why.
we, s- we send most people away. So people are
Yeah.
begging for us to take their case, and we tell them no, there's no case, and that's how we handle it. And that's why
Listen,
we've been this.
can I give you a personal testimonial? Can
I'm
I
not
do
going to
that
say
for
no to
you?
that.
No, okay.
I will never say
So
no to that.
let's just say we'll take some poetic license, but let's just say a associate of mine had a employment issue and went to John Bell because I said, this is an honest guy. Talk to him. He'll tell you if you're right, wrong, or indifferent and what to do. Okay? And after putting in a significant amount of time and advice, advised them that you're smarter to take what they're offering than pay me. So I know firsthand, and that's why you're on my show, and that's why you and Frankie are friends, because I know you're one of the good guys. When I make the ball-busting jokes, I'm pandering to my audience. You know that.
Of course, and I really appreciate that. But at the end, listen, I know of a company here. It's a car detailing company. They tried to open somewhat softly, where they would take cars into the garage quietly and get them cleaned, and they were issued a desk appearance ticket. So it's out there. They're definitely enforcing these laws for these companies not to be open at this time, which is troubling. It's troubling for the employees. It's troubling for the employers. We have to get back to work. We just have to do it safely. Like when I open it up, hopefully very, very soon, we're going to require masks in our office. We're going to require sanitation. We're going to make sure that there's no one in the waiting room. Everyone has to wait in their cars, and they have an appointment. They'll come up at the time that we call them up. So with the right precautions, we got to get this going. Now, as far as some employees who are at risk, they shouldn't run to a lawyer right away. They should try to work it out with their employer. If they can't work it out, then yes, you can contact the lawyer to see what your rights are. So you might be surprised to find out that your rights are somewhat limited. And also for your employer clients who are trying to do the right thing, let's say they see somebody has a disability, or they see somebody in a certain age group over 60, 65, 70, they're concerned about them. You better be careful with how you show your concern. You better not say to them, hey, listen, you guys stay furloughed. We're going to have the other people come in the meantime because we're concerned about your safety. You might be opening up yourself to liability. So if you're thinking about doing something like that, you better contact an honest, good lawyer to help you weather that storm, because if you make a mistake, it could be very costly.
Got it. Well, we got some really honest, good guys who I just deemed them, honestly, as patriotic because I met with them multiple times. I know them for decades, and their heart is in the place of, just like you said, people got to reopen again. And some people just don't know what to do. Everybody's screaming and yelling about it. This one guy, Bob Catone from Staten Island, he's opening his tanning salon, and it has 8 slots in it. And he's already doubly safe, but he's going to double and split his appointments in half. And I don't see how the government can infringe on his rights in that instance. But we will see you on Thursday. And I appreciate your help and guidance, JB. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Looking forward to the next time.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Jonathan Bell from the Bell Law Group. That guy's one of the best. I got some tips in there too, but we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back after this with me and Frankie. I'm going to shut up.